Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. Good morning, and welcome to Storytime. Thank you so much for joining me. I am so glad that we're here together. Of course, appreciate the time that we get to spend together every single day. Thank you for being here. Thank you for taking the time to be here with us on Storytime. Thank you for making Storytime your community this morning, or indeed maybe evening or afternoon, depending on where you are today. Thank you so much for being here. Please, as always, let us know where you're joining in from. And if anybody else is joining in with you, please let us know they are there so we can say hi to them as well. It is a special day. It is a special week. And we have our first guest of 2024. Thank you so much for joining in Storytime today. Absolutely love it. This person is coming back to Storytime after being here first for Moonlight Memories, co-written or illustrating that one with co-created with Amanda Davis. And we know how sweet that one was. So cannot wait for today's book as we celebrate the Lunar New Year. Yes, Lunar New Year, a celebration of fun and family and fun coming right up with Michelle Jing Chan. So get ready for that one. Get ready for our guests today. If you have any questions, please prepare them and ask away, and we'll try and make sure that we get to all of them before we leave. And of course, if we miss any, we'll make sure that we get that information for you and bring it back. But there's lots to look forward to today. Michelle is here, and I cannot wait to introduce her to you. But you know that this week we've had amazing lineup, and this is our fourth book. Today's Thursday. Thank you for joining us, and we do have Lunar New Year, as mentioned, a celebration of family and fun. And of course, we kicked off the week with Forever or a Day from Sarah Jacoby, and then we went into Digging for Words from Angela Kunko and Paola Escobar. And then, of course, yesterday we had The Stuff of Stars, Marion Dane Bauer, and illustrations by Akua Holmes. You know you're in for a treat with all those amazing books. And of course, tomorrow we look forward to Heartstring. We know how hearts are connected no matter where you are, Storytime family. Thank you so much for being here with us today, and keep sending us your recommendations as well here to Storytime. Our guest today has created many wonderful books, and we'll be talking about them very, very shortly. But Michelle is here with us, joining us from Seattle, and that is some of the amazing work that Michelle has done. And we're finding out more of what she's been up to since the last time being here on Storytime. Thank you so much for joining us today. Absolutely love it. And remember too that on March 26th, another friend of Storytime will be here with us, and Marietta Apollonia will be joining us from Harvard, Massachusetts. Her brand new book, Wombat and the Family Tree, and this one she's author illustrating. It's her debut author illustration. Will be here on March 26th, so keep an eye out for that one. You can pre-order now. That one is available, or indeed let your librarians know that you'd like to have that book and you'd like to have it as soon as it is out. Put a hold for it. let them know it is there. Thank you so much for joining us today. And as you know, too, February is not only the month of love, but it is indeed Black History Month as well. And here on Storytime, we will continue to highlight Black joy. We'll continue to highlight Black history, Black excellence, Black belonging, and of course, Black being every single day, not just in February. Thank you so much for being here with us today. Absolutely love the time we get to spend together. And indeed, I hope that you are well. Who is with us this morning, getting ready to enjoy a wonderful story? Thank you so much for joining us today. Megan, absolutely appreciate you. Good morning out there in sunny and warm Kentucky. I'm telling you, we've definitely switched places, Megan, because out here in Oakland, it is raining, pouring right as we speak right now. So starting yesterday too, we got a little break, a few days break, but it's been cold and rainy. And please be careful if you're driving out there. Be sure to check the weather, check the traffic. I know too, I was listening to the news in the morning, and the Bay Bridge, there's a likely long delay there. So if you're heading into San Francisco via the Golden Gate Bridge, you might want to check and just see if it is the right way to take. Thank you so much for being here with us. The sunrise was pink stunning this morning here. Thank you so much for sharing. Absolutely love it. And yeah, keep sharing those pictures as well if you love. If you, with your permission, of course, we can use them here as background on Storytime. Thank you so much for being here. Ari, good evening to you. I know you'll be catching us on later in the evenings. I hope that you are having a wonderful time at school. Miss having you here live, but of course, we're glad that you're having fun, and of course, hopefully making new friends as well. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. Wherever you're joining us from today, I hope that you enjoy Storytime. I hope that you enjoy the time that we get to spend with Michelle Jing Chan. And of course, too, we hope you enjoy the book that we have for you, Lunar New Year, celebration of family and fun. Wherever you are, we hope that you are well. We hope that your loved ones are well. We hope that your pets, everybody is okay. This is Storytime for today. This is Storytime on this beautiful Thursday. I cannot wait to share the book that we have for you. But please join me on the other side of this short break when we introduce our guest for today, Michelle Jing Chan. I'll catch you in a little bit. Thank you so much for joining us here today.
Hi, I'm Charlotte Chang, co-author of Bobo Loves Dumplings, Bobo's Colorful Chinese New Year, and Night Market Rescue. And this is Storytime with Mr. Limata.
And that it is indeed. Thank you so much, Charlotte Chang, a mutual friend with Michelle Jing Chan. And please join me in welcoming to Storytime today, Michelle. Hi.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I love your theme song once again. I'm tapping my foot over here. Thanks to anyone who's tuning in today.
Right. Oh, it's yeah, no. Tim Dixon just did an amazing job. I love it. And we had actually the Social Justice Children's Book Holiday Fair in December, and he performed it live. I was losing my mind. Yeah, it was so cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, his music is great. Yesterday I was singing another of his songs. It was stuck in my head. It's called Remember When, and I just kept humming it throughout the entire evening. It's like, oh yeah, this is.
Oh, I gotta look that up.
Yeah, no, I'll share the link to that one for sure. The softbox salute, but yeah, he's doing amazing work. But
And
Michelle,
shout out to Charlotte, by the way, and Marietta. Charlotte was in my debut group, and then
Yeah.
Marietta's my agency sibling. So I'm looking forward to their books, and I got to read Charlotte's Night Market Rescue. So
yeah, oh, awesome, yeah, and Marietta too. I mean, she's just doing amazing work, and Jack the Library Cat, and now we have Wombat and the Family Tree coming up as well. Yeah. So how is it for you? Because if you're in the debut writing groups, do you get to see some of these? Are you like critic partners? Do you get to see some of these books before they come out? And how is it for you when you actually, then see them in the world?
yeah. The debut group that I was in with Charlotte was mostly people who were publishing for the first time on both the author and illustrator side. So we spent the whole year promoting each other's books and leaving reviews and helping each other out through the whole debut process.
Yeah.
So as part of that, yes, we got to see advanced ERCs of each other's books, and that was very exciting. I felt very special to be like when the book came out, see it in the stores and be like, I got to read that early. I know what that's about already. And Night Market Rescue is so cute. I love the illustrations by Amber Wren in that.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that. And but we had you here for Moonlight Memories with Amanda Davis, who actually we've been working on a few things together this past few weeks. But yeah, so how have you been since? What have you been up to?
Yeah, I've been great. Just pretty busy making books and making art over here. This year I had Lunar New Year. Last year I had Lunar New Year and Moonlight Memories come out, and then this year I have 3 more books coming out. So I was just working on finishing up all of those and working on some new ones that will be coming out in 2025. And then also I sold my debut YA graphic novel. So that's a new development and a new world that I'll be diving into, which I'm excited about.
Yeah. Oh, well, can't wait to dig into all of that. But I know that today you have a book to share with us. So I'll give you some time to bring that one up.
Sounds good.
And yeah, so we can read it. But yeah, to everybody that's joining us here on Storytime today, you know that if you miss the Storytime live, you can always catch us at storytimewithmrlimata.com and Storytime with Mr. Limata on Facebook and YouTube. You can also catch us on Instagram. Follow us and see what else is happening. Thank you so much for joining us today. Absolutely appreciate each and every one of you. And again, just highlighting that this week we do have amazing lineup of books that we're sharing here. And of course, today we have Lunar New Year, a celebration of family and fun. We kicked off the week with Forever or a Day from Sarah Jacoby. We've had Digging for Words. Yes, the story of Jose Gutierrez and how and the library that he built. And then, of course, we had The Stuff of Stars, a beautiful illustration, beautiful poem indeed from Marion Dane Bauer, and of course, Akua Holmes. And then Heartstring coming up tomorrow. Thank you so much for joining us here on Storytime. And to remember that Marietta Apollonia will be joining us on Storytime here on the 26th of March, celebrating her brand new book, Warmbird and the Family Tree. So get ready for that as well. And yeah, thank you so much for being here. Who else is with us this morning? Megan, you're saying Ari will be so pumped to watch this later. Well, I am excited as well. Thank you so much. And we'll be getting started with our book very, very shortly. All right, Michelle, all yours. Are you able to? Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, it's been. I'm excited to see all the amazing books coming out. Because you did say last time we talked, you had mentioned the 5 books at that point.
Yeah, yes. Publishing is slow, as you know, so they're coming. But
Right. No, absolutely love it. Let me just make a few adjustments here. But yeah, excited for this one. And I will go off camera, but I'm here with you if needed. And
Sounds
yeah,
good.
here we
Thank
go.
you.
All yours.
Thank you. This is Lunar New Year, a celebration of family and fun. A big golden book by Mary Mancong, illustrated by me. And if anyone has a physical copy of this book, you can write your name in this iconic spot like they have in all of the big and little golden books. It's time to celebrate the Lunar New Year. Grandparents, parents, and children all come together to join in the fun. The new year begins when the first new moon of the lunar calendar is in the sky. Celebrations last for 15 days and end when the moon is full. More than 1.5 billion people enjoy Lunar New Year festivities. It is celebrated in different countries in Asia and in countries where a lot of Asian families live. There are many ways to wish someone a Happy New Year. Every Lunar New Year is named for one of the 12 zodiac animals: rat, ox, tiger, rabbit, dragon, snake, horse, goat, monkey, rooster, dog, and pig. Each animal has a different personality, and the people born in that year of the animal are thought to have that personality. Which animal are you? I am the pig, and I know this year is the year of the dragon. Time to clean. In China, the tradition is to clean the house at least 2 days before the Lunar New Year. This is meant to sweep away any bad luck and wish for a fresh new year. The color red is very important. It symbolizes luck and success. For the Lunar New Year, people wear red clothing and hang red decorations. Adults give children red envelopes filled with lucky money. The red envelope is called hongbao in Mandarin. It is usually filled with crisp new bills that bring happiness, health, and good luck. But be sure to receive the hongbao with both hands. Using just one is considered rude. Special red decorations are hung on doors of houses. They're meant to bring good luck and a peaceful new year to the family that lives there. Time to eat! Lots of delicious foods are shared beginning on the eve of Lunar New Year. People eat dumplings, which represent a wealthy life. They eat fish, which represents a life full of all good things. And they eat long noodles, which represent a long life. Oranges are a popular Lunar New Year gift. They are believed to bring good luck. Legend has it that long ago, a beast with sharp teeth and horns would come to villages and eat people and livestock on the last day of Lunar New Year. Villagers discovered that hanging red lanterns and the noise that burning bamboo made scared the beast away. Pop, pop, pop. Today, the Lantern Festival is celebrated on the last day of the Lunar New Year celebrations. People hang glowing lanterns in their homes and light firecrackers to scare away evil spirits. Pop, pop, pop. And there are exciting parades. You may even see a colorful dragon or a dancing lion. Everyone makes noise with drums, cymbals, and gongs to frighten away evil spirits, bring good luck, and welcome the new year. Happy Lunar New Year!
Yay. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was beautiful.
Thank you for having me. And yeah, I'm excited to celebrate Lunar New Year with everybody.
Yeah, I guess the question for you that I have, like, and I know earlier I was just joking with, like Happy New Year, New Year. So for you growing up in a, culturally mixed world, how is it for you? How do you celebrate? How do you, like observe? Do you observe the I don't know how to even call it, like, the Gregorian calendar New Year and the Lunar New Year? How do you mesh the two?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was interesting because growing up, I was one of the only Asian kids in my school. So, of course, I celebrated the normal calendar
Yeah.
New Year that's celebrated in most of the U.S. And then we also celebrated like a second Lunar New Year with a second New Year for Lunar New Year with just my immediate family. And so that was always fun. As a kid, I think I just enjoyed having more holidays to celebrate and more food, and of course getting, the red envelopes. But, there wasn't as much of a Asian American community in the part of Colorado that I lived in growing up. But now it's awesome because I believe this is the first year that Colorado has just made Lunar New Year a holiday.
Oh, wow.
I forget if it's just the city of Denver or the whole state of Colorado, but I saw that just happened this year. And there's like a much bigger sort of parade type thing and downtown Denver for that now with performances and vendors and whatnot. So it is very cool to see how that community has grown since when I was growing up.
Right. No, and just like that, just how that representation matters, and which ties into what you're doing. Why was it important for you to take up this manuscript?
It was so special. I felt very honored to be asked to illustrate this. I think, first of all, because golden books are just so iconic. I had tons of golden books growing up, and that gold foil shiny spine is so eye-catching.
Yeah.
But like you said, I never had any of these books about my culture with characters that looked like me. And so, first of all, it was just very exciting to be able to get to illustrate a book for this iconic Golden Book series, but with characters and a cultural celebration that reflected what I did growing up. And then the second part that made it special was that this was the first Golden Book about Lunar New Year. So it was really cool to be part of that milestone. And I even modeled the family in the book to look like my family and me and my brother when we were kids. So that was also a very exciting little cameo.
Yeah, no, I love that. And like sometimes you hear people say Chinese New Year and so on. And so with the Lunar New Year, I know you mentioned in the book like many Asian countries celebrate it, many different people celebrate it. Why did you feel you needed to include that detail in the book? Oh, yeah. Or how was that for you? Navigating that as you were illustrating.
Right. I am Chinese, but as you said, many different Asian countries celebrate Lunar New Year, and I actually have to give that credit to the author Mary Man Kong, who wrote this manuscript, for including that mention of other countries. This is something that I learned from my debut group, actually, the one I was in with Charlotte last year, is that Lunar New Year is sort of the umbrella term for all of these different holidays that are celebrated around the same time by multiple different Asian countries. And then, there's specific holiday names for each of those countries for what they call Lunar New Year. So Chinese New Year, or the Spring Festival, Chunjie in Mandarin is what it's called in China. And then, there's different names for what it's called in Korea, Thailand, Vietnam, etc.
Yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. No. This is the thing. We learn every year, right?
Totally.
Every day we learn something
Yes.
new for sure. No, thank you for sharing that. And I was just thinking too, this is the year of the dragon, and I looked up mine as well. I know I'm the pig, but so just but yeah, just wondering too for you, how much of those characteristics do you see in your you call it your zodiac animal, or is it
Right.
Yeah.
Well, according to this book here, the pig is supposed to be honest, loyal, and caring, I believe. So I think you are definitely those. I'd like to think that I am those too.
Yeah. Oh no, I love that. I love that. And I was just looking to see too, wondering, because then it kind of shows to the different years that have been. But yeah, so one of the other things too I was thinking was 15 days of celebration. I mean, I don't mind that. But give us how does this look like in a Chinese home, in an Asian home celebrating, Lunar New Year? How does it look like for 15 days?
Well, when my parents and my grandparents were still in China and Hong Kong, they said they truly did celebrate for 2 weeks, pretty much, for 2 weeks and a day. My mom tells me stories about how her parents would start cooking, several days in advance and preparing several days in advance before even Lunar New Year Eve. And then it would just be a bunch of eating and going and looking at performances and visiting the different houses of friends and family in the area for 2 weeks. So yeah, that sounds great to me. But growing up, we celebrated pretty much the day before and then Lunar New Year, because as we talked about earlier, in the States, we don't get that whole time off.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, we would still do most of the traditions, wear new clothes like the book says, and hand out red envelopes, and then have a big dinner with traditional dishes with my grandparents for both Lunar New Year Eve and Lunar New Year itself. And sometimes there were a couple small performances in Denver that we would go watch, and that's how we would celebrate it growing up.
Yeah. And how is that in terms of, because there's the food aspect as well. And as you've grown, are there any other responsibilities that you find yourself taking up in those, in the context of those celebrations, or is that not changed at all?
Yeah, now I live in Seattle and the rest of my family is still in Colorado. So I'm the one cooking for myself and some of my friends. So some of the dishes I've had to learn to, make by myself because my parents usually make that when I'm home in Colorado.
Yeah.
And then thankfully I don't have to do this yet, but once you get married, or if you're the eldest in the family, it's your turn to give out the hongbao or the red envelopes to all the younger relatives.
Oh,
So thankfully I'm off the hook. But one of my older cousins just got married this year, and all of us were texting him about, hey, where's our red envelope?
yeah. I did. No, one of my coworkers, Gary, did bring us envelopes yesterday. Well, it was the
Oh,
first time we got to be together for our meet. We had a whole day training yesterday, and he brought us the red envelopes, and it just felt so special receiving one of those. It's like, yeah.
yes, receiving it is.
Oh, and yes, thank you so much, Lauren, and of course, April, Alicia, Jemison, Lindley, and Finn out there in Orange County. And you saying, thank you, Michelle, for sharing your beautiful new book. And if you have any questions, please do send them our way as well. And Michelle will definitely try and answer those. Thank you for joining us. And of course, Megan as well. We appreciate you. Thank you for joining us out there in Kentucky, sunny and warm. I'm so jealous. Thank you for being here. The sunrise was pink, stunning this morning. I hope that you get to enjoy many more beautiful sunrises like that. Just a reminder to everybody that is here with us, whether you're joining us live right now or indeed later on for the recordings, that we do have our special guest today, Michelle Jing Chan, joining us from Seattle, Washington, and celebrating, of course, her book, Lunar New Year, a celebration of family and fun. And of course, teaching us a little bit, sharing a little bit more about Lunar New Year. So, Michelle, you mentioned last year you had 2 books that came out, and this year you have 2025. You have others that will be coming out. So, how has it been with you, and which ones of these, have been? What are some of the challenges that you faced putting out these wonderful books that we can see on screen right now?
Yeah, this year I have Mamie Tate Fights to Go to School, Stay Angry Little Girl, and Goodnight Sounds coming out this year in 2024. And at least of these three, I think I could talk about the first one, Mamie, since that one's coming out in May. But this one has been a super interesting challenge because this was my first nonfiction picture book. And it was about Mamie Tate, who was an 8-year-old girl living in San Francisco in the 1800s, and she wasn't allowed to go to the all-white public school because of her race. And so she and her parents ended up suing the school and made it all the way up to the California Supreme Court. And so this was a very impactful story. I had never learned about Mamie Tate growing up, and it wasn't until I was an adult that I learned about her. So it was very special to get to illustrate this book, teaching more people about her legacy and the impact that she played in the fight for desegregation. And then also, this being a nonfiction picture book, there was a lot more attention to sort of the historical detail. So the author literally provided a 100-page reference document with photos from that time and details about what the outfits and the architecture looked like. And it was a unique challenge getting to illustrate based on that document and historical accuracy.
Yeah. And did you get a chance to have any interviews with any of like people, that historians or maybe family members or anything like that?
Yeah, actually, again, I can credit the author with that. Tracy Huan, she did an amazing job. She did a ton of research in both, visiting museums and visiting the California archives. But she also was able to get in contact with Mamie's, I believe, great granddaughter, and was able to interview her for this book. And actually visit her home and see some of the old photos and things that she had of Mamie. So, again, all the credit to Tracy for that. She did an amazing job and has a background as a lawyer herself, actually. So she got really deep into the research.
Yeah. Oh, that's I mean, it sounds amazing working on that, and cannot wait to read that one and see it. And then you've had the other ones that came out as well. How was it for those ones? Any specific challenges related to each one?
Yeah, I think Amanda and I talked about this a little bit when we came on for Moonlight Memories, but
Right,
both of us were sort of drawing on personal experiences with
right,
grief and losing loved ones in order to write this story and to illustrate it. So I think that was a new challenge for me too. Being able to figure out how to portray these abstract emotions and to portray Amanda's beautiful imagery in a way that would be understandable through the illustrations and in a way that sort of pays uh, pays honors those sort of complicated and mixed feelings of grief that people might have after losing a loved one.
right. No, yeah, so powerful. And I've gotten to read Moonlight Memories so many times, and each time just speaks to me so deeply. Just wanted sorry, you had something to.
Oh no, I just said thank you.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, and just something too that I was thinking about as we're living at a time when there are people that are banning books, banning topics, and you look at a topic or a story like Mamie's, and you're thinking too, it's like what gave you the strength to participate in a book like that and work to see it through, put out a book like that into the world in a world right now that doesn't feel as welcoming at times.
Hmm. Hmm. No, thank you for this question. Yeah, I think that I have had these sort of thoughts a lot, not only with Mamie, but also with my debut YA graphic novel, which
Mm,
deals with themes around queerness and asexuality and coming
mm,
out. And I'm fully expecting to see some people who are unhappy with kind of both of these books. And I have actually had this conversation with other authors who have had books that were banned,
yeah.
and the conclusion that I think we all kind of came to is that you can't let this world of people who are sort of bigoted and don't understand where you're coming from limit you from writing and creating the type of
Mm,
stories that you want to create. And I think perhaps more importantly, the types of stories that would have helped you when you were younger and could have used a book with this sort of message or these sort of characters.
right.
So I am fully bracing myself for the worst scenario in both of these cases with both of those books. But ultimately, I think being in this business, you have to create the kind of stories that are authentic to you.
Yeah.
And something I will say is I think that the publishing community that I found is we're all super supportive of each other, as you know too.
Yeah.
And so I think it's been really great to see for my friends whose books have been banned how everybody else has rallied around them, and
Mhm.
and not just folks in publishing, but educators and librarians, etc., to
Yeah.
help support them how they can.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And you mentioned that too, and you definitely have a supporter here. Story time will be here, will be here. But
Thank you.
just wanted to put out too, one of the things I know, you'd hear about book bans and so on, everything that was happening, and it recently hit home because it affected people that I care about and whose work that I care about. And Maya Gonzalez, big shout out to you, and and Matthew. They've been putting out a lot of books. They put out the ABCs of
Mm.
yeah, they them, the pronouns, and yeah, many other books too. And they have faced so many challenges, and you could actually see their impact on like sales and things like that. And just realizing too that yes, even there's book bans, yes, the big one being people denying our kids, our communities, access to information, denying like inclusion of the entirety, right, of our world. But then also just seeing how that affects the creators as well,
Mm.
whether in terms of income or in terms of just like having to think about those things as you're producing work. And so yeah, I just wanted to really thank you for bringing that part up and highlighting it. And yeah, we do have some messages as well, and we'll get back into that. But Lauren and family out there saying, I was very impressed hearing Elise's best friend did chores in her home for a month to earn money to put in the hongbao she gave to each
Oh,
of her classmates.
that's fantastic. I'm very impressed too. And her classmates are lucky to have a friend like her who she not older than them, but saved up to give them all the hongbao. That's awesome.
Yeah, and it goes on too. It says, I was floored to see that kind of discipline and dedication from a
Oh.
7-year-old to share such a special tradition with her friends. How about you? How was it for you? Did you have to do anything like that?
I did not. I guess we were very spoiled where we were the youngest grandkids on both sides actually. So we just got the red envelopes, but I haven't had to give them out yet. Although I am actually doing a school visit for one of my friends who's a preschool teacher at the end of this week, and I guess I am giving out red envelopes for that one. But that's my first time.
Yeah, yeah. And is there anything specific that has to go in? Because I know, like, I've seen different. I've seen, like, say, sometimes a lot of scratch cards. Sometimes I've seen, a dollar and different things. Like, is there anything specific that should be going in the red envelope?
It's usually money, but growing up, and I think sometimes for younger kids, people will stick small pieces of candy in there too, or those like gold foil chocolate coins, which also kind of look like money. So that's what we would get growing up is candy and a couple pieces of money.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, and I know too that with you mentioned in the book that as like the fireworks and the gongs and all of that are meant to scare away evil spirits and bring in good luck. And so, for you, what is it? Is there something that you feel like you need to shake away as you get into this brand new year? And what is some of that? What are some things that you're wishing for good luck and
Mhm, mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I think the at least in Chinese culture, the Lunar New Year, as I mentioned earlier, is also called the Spring Festival or Chunjie in Mandarin. And so I think for me, it's usually around the time that Seattle starts to get a little warmer too. So it feels to me a little bit like a spring awakening where things are starting to get warmer, and
Yeah.
I personally start to feel a little bit less lethargic because we're seeing the sun more, and I'm able to go
Mm,
outside more and move around more instead
yeah.
of sitting here at my desk drawing all day. So I think for me, I just associate it with things getting warmer too, and spring, and being able to actually go outside, and you're starting to see like flowers come up a little bit, or neighbors planting things in their gardens.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I think the name Spring Festival for me is very fitting to what happens this time of year around Seattle.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome. And you mentioned, the desk and you mentioned warmth. First of all, I want to talk about the warmth. Yesterday we were talking and you said Seattle was warm.
Yeah.
I do not agree.
It's all relative. Everybody here sees that it's a high 40s or low
No,
50s, and they're like, break out the shorts. It's time for spring.
no, no. And if you're hearing there's some background noise with me here, it's my heater. I do apologize. It can get loud. So, not all of us are saying the 40s are warm. So heater's running in the background. But yeah, so it was just funny when you mentioned that. I was like, no, no.
It's all relative, right?
And then you mentioned, the desk, just bringing it back to that as well. You've been working on all these amazing books that are coming out, that will be coming out, and that takes a lot of work, a lot of dedication. And I know that there's been a big change for you in the past few months, and now you're full on pursuing the illustration work or author illustration work. How is that for you? How was it? How did you get to that decision? And what are some, like how, yeah, just walk us through that. How does one come to that decision?
Yeah, it definitely wasn't easy. I think it was something that I was sort of, grappling with for the past year or so. But eventually it kind of got to the point where I felt like I was just spread so thin time wise and physical health wise for most of the past 2 years that I had been juggling, two jobs with my full time job and then all of my publishing work. I had been having like chronic arm and back pain I think the worst it got was I had pain up through, my entire kind of drawing arm, and I was going to physical therapy and all of this. And so it was a combination of those health issues, and then also, being spread thin time-wise and feeling like, the quality of both my full-time job and my books are going to suffer if I continue to do this.
Mhm.
So, I'm not quite sure how permanent of a change this will be. I feel like publishing can change so much, and it takes so long for books to come out. So I'm just trying to take it, a month, a day at a time. But ever since, just leaving my full-time job, I don't have arm pain anymore. I'm able to exercise more. And for the first time in like 2 years, I also don't have any back pain. So
Wow.
it's been very nice to feel physically better, and also to have the mental and creative energy to be in a better headspace to be making art and books.
Right. No, we wish you plenty of those amazing sounding things, as better health, better fitness, everything going into this new year, right? And and that's the thing too, like just appreciating opportunities like that where you may have an opportunity to be able to do that, but also just realizing, making that move and seeing all these amazing changes that happen, because we do wear ourselves thin on a daily basis. But so with that also being said, have you ever thought, or is there a possibility of seeing Michelle Jing Chan self-published book?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think the cool thing about self-publishing these days is there's so many resources that I think are there to help support. I am not sure at this point. I never say never, so I'm not ruling it out. But again, I'm trying to get through the books that I have right now, and then we'll see. But I am illustrating for a self-published YA kind of queer romance, contemporary romance.
Yeah.
That's coming out soon, and I'll be able to talk about soon. So I'm excited to see what that process how that process is similar and also different from the traditional publishing world.
Yeah, appreciate that. But yeah, cannot wait for that as well. And as we come to an end, just thinking about, excited for all the amazing things that you're doing. What messages would you have for those little girls that are growing up, whether they have an experience like yours growing up in Colorado, or whether they have an experience where, they're getting to share with their classmates their experience? Like, what is that message that you have? And, either for them from you, or, that you're trying to put out through the book?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great question. Well, I think, the title of the book is Lunar New Year, a celebration of family and fun. And I really do think that celebration can be an act of not only resistance, but also resilience in the faces of things like book bans, like all of the, anti-Asian hate crimes that we saw during the pandemic. And so I think my message would just be that, that continue to celebrate and be proud of your culture and your traditions and where you come from, because celebration is an act of resilience and of resistance as well.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And also just to the rest of us, that are looking in, that we might even go to that spring festival and participate. But
Yes.
what is it? What should we bring? How should we come into these celebrations?
Yeah, I can, only kind of speak to at least a Chinese American perspective. And as we mentioned, there's tons of other cultures that celebrate Lunar New Year as well. But at least from that perspective, I would say wear red, as that's a lucky color. I know I'm wearing green in my cheap haul, but I only have a green one because I bought this for a friend's wedding and she was wearing red, so I didn't also wear a red one. But I would say wear red. It's a lucky color, and I think the book talks about that too. And then I would say the second thing is, just enjoy spending time with the friends and family who have sort of invited you to also participate in these celebrations. I think a big part of this holiday is the getting to visit and have delicious meals with friends and family. So I hope anyone celebrating Lunar New Year with loved ones gets to do that.
Yeah, and then the book mentions receiving with both hands. Is that something that is that something that should be, like people should be reminded, encouraged to do?
Yes, totally. Yes, it's like a sign of respect to give and receive. Hongbao or things for Lunar New Year with both hands, and I think there's a symbolism in that too of welcoming the new year with open arms and with an open mind and heart.
Yeah. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Really appreciate it. Before I let you go, though, too, well, one story. I remember one time receiving a copy. I was being handed a document, and I received it with my left hand. And my boss at the time was just so offended, like, and he didn't tell me, he didn't tell me directly, because he was my boss's boss. So he told my boss, he was like, tell Peter he cannot receive documents with his left hand and this and that. I was like, oh, but it was crazy because where I was sitting, he came in from my left hand side, and it was the only way I could. It felt the most natural way to do it, but culturally for him, and it was not. It was very disrespectful, and but so my boss did share that, and of course we were more aware of that, and I was like, I wish there'll be more time to share those things, let us know. And so, because I was like, oh yeah, I'm being efficient, I'm receiving this as quickly as possible, but no. So you learn every time. But I noticed too that you've worked on a book with Madeline Ngo. I mean, that's working with like kids lit royalty right there. So, and I mean, you have amazing people. I love Amanda, I love so many, but I know that some of them are still young in the game, right? But here's Madeline Ngo. How was it, or how has it been? And is there anybody else that you love to work with?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. A Wrinkle in Time growing up was one of my all-time favorite books. I think I still have
a copy.
Yeah, I still have. This is my childhood copy of A Wrinkle in Time, and it has like my name written in the front when I was in elementary school. So one of my all-time favorite books. And this was a picture book that is written by her granddaughter, and it's inspired by a famous quote from A Wrinkle in Time. And I was absolutely floored when I got the offer for that, because like I said, it was like I grew up reading these books. She was one of my all-time favorite authors, and to get to work on a picture book inspired by her words was really, really special. So that comes out, I believe, in August, and I'm super excited for that too.
Oh, yeah, no, that is amazing. Congratulations on that.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Is there anybody else that you would love to work with, or whose work you admire?
Yeah. I would also love to work with Joanna Ho someday. Actually, Eyes That Kiss in the Corners, which was her book with her and illustrator Zung Ho, was the book that made me want to become a picture book illustrator myself. So, maybe someday Joanna can do this, but I would love to work with her.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, we hope that the good luck of this year keeps those good things coming and flowing your way. Wishing you the best working full-time illustrating and doing kids literature, and also with your YA book. All the best with that. And then too, like just everything that is coming, I hope that to continued better health, improved health, much more enjoyable life. Thank you so much for joining in. And yes, from this pig year of the pig to another, right? I see some of the years in here. I think it's 1995, is 1923, 1935. I think that's the year I was born, 1935. No.
You don't look a day over.
The year of the pig is the best. We don't age. We don't age. No.
That's right.
1947, 1959, 1971, 1983, 1995, 2007, 2019, 2031.
It'll be a while.
Yeah, and 2043 is one of the last ones listed. But yeah, so I hope that everybody out there, do your year, right? Look it up and let us know. You can always leave the messages below the videos, and we'll be able to see them. I always get notifications, so always be able to see them. But this has been Story Time today. This has been a wonderful edition of Storytime with our guest coming back to Storytime for the second time and hopefully not the last. Michelle Jing Chan joining us today. And remember too that you can find Michelle at michellejingchan.com, at Michelle at this was Twitter, now X, right? And also at Michelle Art on Instagram, and follow and see everything that they are up to. And of course, these amazing books, some of them coming out soon, some of them already out. Continue to enjoy them. And remember too that on the 26th of March, we do have our friend here, Marietta Apollonia, coming to Storytime to celebrate her brand new book, Wombat and the Family Tree. And then, of course, too, remember that February is Black History Month, and here on Storytime, we celebrate it every single day. Thank you so much for being here with us. Amazing books coming your way. I hope you've enjoyed this one. Lunar New Year, a celebration of family and fun. And of course, too, tomorrow we're back with another one, Heartstring, coming back to Storytime after a little bit. This has been Storytime for today. Thank you so much for joining us. To everybody that was here with us live, thank you for being here. Megan, thank you, Ari. Hope you enjoy the story later on as you read. And of course, thank you to you as well, Lauren, Alicia, Jemison, Lindley, Finn, and of course, April out there in Orange County. Thank you for being here with us on Storytime. This has been Storytime on this beautiful Thursday morning, afternoon, evening, depending on what time you're joining us. Much love from me, big hugs, and we'll see you again next time on Storytime. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, it brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Oh, story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? I just can't wait to be hearing. I live right here in my neighborhood. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some with people who look like me, others very different from the way that I look and think. Read me all of the stories. Read me all of the stories. Some stories from far away, others right here in my neighborhood. Story time. Ooh. Story time. Story time with Mr. Limata. He will be starting soon. Story time with Mr. Limata, where all your dreams come true. Oh, he brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing. Brings to life your favorite stories with a great big smile. You won't live lonely, won't you start all the reading? We just can't wait to be hearing.